Welcome, everybody, to Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul. This is a special Drive Through Sports edition in conjunction with Hoya Nation Sports Broadcasting. We've got a very special guest with us today, Gavin Hall, class of 2020, the starting quarterback for the last three of his seasons, finished up his sophomore year as a starter, then completed his junior year and his senior year and brought home a state championship to the Hoyas for the first time in school history. So we want to welcome him onto the show. Welcome, Gavin.
Sir, thank you.
All right, so you can tell he's up to technology. I've got the headphones with the wires, and he's just going.
Yeah, I got the AirPods.
Oh man! Well, Gavin, I'm so glad you could join us tonight and take some time away. I just want to talk about a couple things. You know, obviously we at Hoya Nation Sports Broadcasting, we started broadcasting back in 2016. And your first start, I will never forget that game. It was at
Oh man,
I mean,
it was.
And yeah, and there was we had to win that game to win region.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, go back and kind of you were a sophomore.
Oh yeah, I was a young guy.
This is your first start, and I can remember me and Terry having this whole pregame thing going, hey, this is his first start, but
Yep.
I don't think he's scared. I think he's ready.
Oh yeah.
And you went out there, maybe you threw a pick or two, but it was.
Yeah, I think I threw one.
Yeah, I don't think it hurt us or anything. But you did a really good job. Go back and take us through like that week leading up to that game, knowing after the injury that you were the guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, God, the game before that was the ESPN game against Dalton.
Yeah.
And after that game, I was still in shock. So, I mean, probably Monday and Tuesday, it didn't really set in. And I remember sitting down with Coach Dickman and sort of going over the game plan and stuff. And I was like, it's a lot of stuff. Like, I didn't realize how much I was actually going to step into. But that whole week I was just watching film and stuff. But I remember sitting down in classes and it was like all I was doing was focusing on football. Like, I was just trying to get my mind straight. But once Friday came, I sort of felt fine. Like, I sort of got my head caught up to where it needed to be. But I went out there, and I remember the game started off so fast. Like, I was out there, and the game just seemed so fast. And after, I think, 2 drives, we scored. I think I threw a touchdown to Micah, and that's when it just switched. Yeah, that's when it just switched. And ever since then, that one point, it was smooth sailing from there. So,
yeah, that was a really like a pivotal game. I felt like that game
it was
there just kind of like you got a lot of confidence from that game moving forward.
I did.
Yeah, I think maybe we even lost the next week. I think maybe to Creekview.
Yeah, to Creekview, we did.
But then we go on that run in the play. We win 2 games, and then we go down to Glen Academy and just couldn't get off the field. Defensively at Glen. So it was one of those deals, but it was a great run. And again, you got all that extra practice. You got 3 weeks of practice your sophomore year. How do you think that affected you going into your junior year?
Oh, man, I think that helped me a lot. I mean, just playing at like that sort of level in playoffs, it's helped me out throughout my whole Harrison career, I think. But just that level you have to play at in the playoffs. I mean, you got to take your game to a whole nother level. And for me, like starting out on that level, I think that really helped me out. Just like that's the way that I thought varsity football was. Yeah. Like, I didn't think about anything else. Like, that's what I thought the standard was. So I think it helped out our team and me tremendously.
Yeah. Now let's fast forward to your junior year. Into your junior year, we get I want to say we were a 2. We were the 2 seed your junior year.
I think we actually got bumped down to 4 because we.
Oh wait, that's when we were 4.
Yeah.
We lost to Creekview that last. They went for 2.
Yeah.
Game, which was a great game. By the way.
Oh my God.
That was a crazy game. I mean, the weather.
Yeah.
Like, is there going to be a tornado? Is there not going to be a tornado? That was just back and forth. It kind of turned on that. Was it kick return or punt return from Micah?
I think it was a kick return.
And it kind of flipped right.
It did.
We kind of went on a roll, and that great catch in the back of the end zone by Mason.
Yeah.
That probably, again, and I said it on the broadcast, probably one of the greatest catches I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, easily.
Aside from the one this past year by The one
I'm trying to think. Oh, Marcus.
Marcus.
Marcus, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, we fast forward, we get the playoffs, we beat Johns Creek, we go there
Mhm.
for the 1 seed, we take them out,
Yep.
and then we head up to Lanier. Now, there was some controversy about the whole halftime situation at Lanier. Could you give us like where y'all were taken, how long you were there? There was no heat in there.
Yeah. So
Talk to me, because we were just speculating on the situation. We just heard rumors. So I need to know from you, was it the real deal? Was there something going on there?
I don't know. I mean, because we got there and the locker room was so far away. I mean, it was like at
Yeah,
least a 10-minute walk to get to the field.
right.
And we get there, and in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, like, are we going to come back here at halftime? Like, there's not really a locker room for us here. And at halftime, I remember it hitting, and we go over to the side, and Coach D's like, we're just going to stay here. I'm like,
And
it's raining. It's like
it
30
was like
degrees outside.
35 degrees and
Yeah.
raining. Yeah. And
Yeah.
y'all were over there, like, y'all were over there by the flagpole or something,
Oh,
just
yeah.
freezing to death. Had to.
Yeah. Yeah. We didn't even have heaters or anything. And I was, in my head, I thought it was an advantage for them. But at the time, I was like, no, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, it's like a complete advantage for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they were going in, they were getting warm.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
so that was a disappointing loss. How did that loss, or did that loss, fuel you guys in the off season?
I think our class knew what we could do, and I thought that season we were going to do it. I think that's what we all thought. But I think that game in particular, I think it sort of just like it threw so much on the fire because we should have got past them, and we know we should have. And after that game, it was sort of just like, we're going to work here on out, and no matter what, we're not going to lose again. Like, that's just what our mentality was, and that's what happened. So.
Yeah, I mean that's great. I mean, you could tell you guys got committed when you came back in January, got in the weight room, and everything you worked through spring, and we have the Otters show at Otters. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember
was
that.
awesome.
It
And
was.
got to talk to all you guys, and interviewed you and Mason and Ryan.
Yep, and David was there too with me.
David,
I think, so.
Yeah, David was there. Tommy, even got a couple words out of Tommy Pollock, which is tough. But so we're hyped. Yeah, we're hyped up. And even Coach D talked. He
came
and
too.
Yeah, he came and so we're thinking, man, you guys, we're asking you all these questions, man. You're saying all the right things. We're focused with this or that.
Yep.
And then the first half of the spring game comes.
Yeah.
Let me just. You're laughing because right?
I can laugh on it now, but
yeah. I mean, that's something that you just want to like pretend didn't exist, right?
Oh, I know.
I mean, I let's put it this way. Normally, when we get done with the broadcast, I go home and I publish the episode.
Yeah.
I didn't publish that episode because I felt like my commentary at halftime was so negative.
Yeah.
That I was like, nope. I was like, nobody needs to hear this because.
Yeah.
So the only person, and this is a true story, the only person that has a copy of that is BJ Locke, and I let him have it because I said, look, BJ, I was like, look, if these guys ever get a big head. And you down a notch. I said, you play on my commentary on the spring game at halftime.
Yep.
And you let them listen to that. Because me and Terry, I think multiple times we said, okay, we just interviewed these guys last night, and they felt like they were dialed in. It sounded it was going to be 35-0 after the first 5 possessions. That's what it sounded like. And we're like, I just feel like we've been sold a false set of goods. I feel like we've been hoodwinked. What's going on? And I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And, I think did that affect y'all in the summer at all?
I don't, because we knew the talent we had, but we were still trying to figure out pieces. And I think that game was just sort of like an experiment for us because we were trying so many different things out. And a lot of stuff at first wasn't really working, but then we sort of like went back and watched the film, and we were like, hey, we can do this. We can move him here. We can do this. And I think it really helped us out just like going into that game and trying out. Like we had new people on offense, like
Oh yeah,
Marcus and a couple other guys,
yeah,
and it was just getting them adapted to the varsity style of football. And I think that game was just sort of like a rough beginning for what we eventually did, but that game was definitely a tough one. But we ended
yeah. I
up
mean, it's one of those things where like if you could imagine something would go wrong,
yeah.
it happened. Okay,
Oh, it did. Yeah.
you had fumbles,
Yep.
you had touchdowns called back,
Called back. Yep.
you gave up defensive touchdowns.
Yep.
You made that number 10. Was he number 10? I don't know who it was for Kennesaw Mountain. He looked like you made him look like first
Oh, yeah.
all state.
Yeah.
I was like, who is this guy? And
Yeah.
he's making every play for him. And
Yep.
we're putting the ball on the ground. We're getting penalties that are all our big plays are erased by penalties. And me and Terry, they're going, oh my gosh, is this happening?
Oh, yeah. We were doing the same thing.
Yeah, I know you guys were frustrated about that.
Yeah.
You turn the page, you start off, and you come back in the fall, and it's just, I mean, it's literally like exactly what you said. Everything's clicking offensively. The defense, which was just
they were unbelievable. They were unbelievable.
And I mean, I told our audience many times, I've stood on the sidelines for 18 years, and I've been in the booth for the last 6. I've never seen a Harrison defense that good. Like just
it was unbelievable.
It just can't score on them. I mean,
you can't.
It was just crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, it made our job so much easier on offense because we knew the opposite team's offense was only going to score at least 10 points. Yeah. So we would always be so relaxed on offense. It's like we knew that's what we needed to get above. Yeah. So I mean, it just made our job so much easier.
So if you throw a bad pick, or you fumble, bad exchange in the back, hey, even if it's in if it's in my or that there's that this could be a 3 and out and a punt.
Yeah, I mean, we knew we were getting the ball back. So
yeah, I mean, it's super, super comforting, and as a coaching staff and as players too. So, and I know just for you, I don't think you're a team guy. You're not about the numbers. No. But let me throw some numbers at you, okay? Because here's what you accomplished as a starting quarterback: 27-5 as a starter. That's not even the most astounding stat to me. 8-2 in the playoffs. You're 8-2 in the playoffs now. You're 1-1 as a sophomore, 2-1, and then 5-0. That is remarkable. I mean, I don't know that anybody is going to equal that.
Yeah.
At Harrison in any time in the near future. But just a tremendous career, topped it off, accomplished the mission. It was one of the rainiest, nastiest
it was
I've ever seen. I don't know how y'all had to be underwater down there on the sideline.
Oh, we were. Oh my God. I was just trying to find a spot like behind somebody just to hide from it.
Yeah. It was relentless. But you guys in there, and how about our kicker, man, during that game? I mean,
I remember going back and watching it, and I was like, Christian, they didn't mention your name one time. And he was like, I know. And I said, you were the deciding factor in that game.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, without you, we wouldn't have won that state championship game.
No. He was what, 3 for 3?
3 for 3. Yep.
3 for 3. I mean, in that weather.
In that weather, too.
Yep. And Mr. All-World.
Yeah.
2 kicks blocked.
Yep.
So, again, there's that defense. Just you can't score. And so, especially in that weather, made it tough. All right, so let's shift gears here. So, I didn't even know you were graduating early. I got back in January, and I was like, "Hey, man, we should have Gavin on the show." I'm like, no, he's in Ohio. I was like, "What's he doing?" Yeah. He graduated early, so I didn't even know. I had to kind of find out back, sort of through back channels. But so, when did you get on campus?
I got on, I think, late January is when I came for the first time.
Okay.
And I was up here. My family moved me in, and I was starting out with winter lifting with them. So that's sort of like when the colleges start winter lifting. So that's when I came up.
Okay. Okay. Now, had classes started at that point already?
Yeah, so I did a whole semester of school.
Okay, cool.
So I came
So
up
how
here
many
and started
hours
and all
were you
that.
able to get? How many hours were you able to take?
I took a lot of hours. I think
Did
I
you?
had 5 classes total.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I
That's
had a
good.
pretty good amount of hours.
That gets you a little bit of a jump start on everything.
Oh yeah, I'm way ahead of the game now. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's
it's helping
awesome.
out.
Well, when all this went down, because I'm assuming you guys shut down around the middle of March. March
Mhm.
15th is when
Yep.
we shut down. So I'm assuming
Yep.
that's when they called y'all home. Uh, did y'all get to do spring up there?
We got 3 days into spring and we were going home for spring break. Our spring break was like in the middle of spring practice.
Right.
So we did 3 days of spring football and I flew home. And I was home for I think 4 days. And that's when the COVID just like exploded.
Right.
And I was texting coaches and stuff and I was like, do I need to come back? And they're like, hold on. And then finally I think it was that Friday. And they said we're gonna shut everything down. And I was like, wow.
Wow. So
Yeah,
that would have
so
been probably like the 13th of
I
March.
think so.
Probably.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
because um that was our last day.
Yeah,
We found out the 12th that the 13th was going to be our last day. So
yeah.
yeah, well, like you said, it was very rapid
It was. It was fast.
decline as far as like everything and people going home.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and when you got up there, going back to January, I mean, you're going from Georgia, which have you lived in Georgia your whole life?
I have. Yes, sir.
What was it like, Georgia to Ohio? Any culture shock there?
Um, yeah, I mean, I got up here and it wasn't too bad. It was like maybe mid 50s. And the week after that, I think it snowed 2.5 feet. And I was like, oh my God. And everybody's like, no, just wait. This isn't anything. And I was like, no way. And I think it snowed 4 more times after that. And by the fourth time, I was like, I guess I'm used to it by now, but it was completely different. But I like it up here in Ohio. It's just completely different. So,
What's the biggest difference between Ohio and Georgia
probably just the
besides the
landscape. I
weather?
mean, yeah,
Landscape?
in Georgia, it's so hilly, like hills
Yeah.
and everything. In Ohio, everything's flat. Like
Wow.
is everything that you can see like for miles and everything, but it's completely different, a different landscape.
Huh. Yeah, I think so it's a little bit easier to go on a recreational run
Oh yeah.
if you live in Ohio versus
Oh yeah.
if you live in Brookstone or somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah.
It's like nothing's easy.
Oh yeah.
Since you've been home, I see a lot of pictures of you at the beach. So having some fun, little recreation.
Yes,
Have you
sir.
been able to do any workouts to stay in shape? What's your routine? That sort of thing.
Yeah, so I was actually during quarantine when everything was shut down. I was just using bands and stuff that our strength coach here was letting us do and stuff. He has a great plan that he taught us, like with using band workouts and stuff. So I did that for at least 2 months. And once the gyms and stuff opened back up, I went over and to the Harrison workout area at the field, not the field house, but I can't think of it, the workout room by the field
Yeah.
house.
Weight room. Yeah.
And yeah, I was working out there at least 3 times a week doing that. And then I was also going to the field with Mason Bolin a lot and throwing with him.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I think he's leaving here soon to go to college.
To go back.
So
Okay.
yes,
So
sir.
so anybody else that you know from your class that's playing that's about to leave other than like Mason?
Let's see. I know Victor's went up to Minnesota.
Okay.
Ryan Smith, I think he's leaving this weekend to go to Duke.
Okay.
And let's see. Trying to think. I know Tony, Cole, and Mason maybe leave in 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
And then who else? I think that's all I know of right now. Yeah, I think that's it. Because I'm trying to think. There's so many different people going to
Yeah, they're
so many
probably
different
going to
places.
everywhere, all different
Yeah,
places. But well,
yeah.
man, I appreciate you spending some time with us and reflecting a little bit. And hope you got a safe place for that state championship ring.
Oh yeah, I do. Oh
I want to I want to end with a couple fun questions here. In college, there's probably late night hunger and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have a go-to for that late night delivery?
Late night delivery. Let's see. Because we have a really good food court area here at Toledo. That's like literally you walk out the door and it's right next to us.
Oh, wow.
So we would use that a lot. But I'm trying to think of a to-go. There's a Papa John's not too far away from here, and we would call them up and just tell them our names, and they would literally just have it on the way. So that's probably the other one.
Oh, geez. All right. So one more question. This is kind of a strange question, but you can have some fun with it. Okay. So scenario is you've been kidnapped. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you want to come rescue you? Movie character. Who's
a movie character? Oh, man, a movie character to come save me.
Let me give you some choices that you might want to think.
Okay.
Okay. John Wick.
Okay.
Jason Bourne.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Mr. McCall from shoot. What's his name? I'm trying to think of the movie. Oh, shoot. Okay, John Wick, Jason Bourne, or the guy from Taken, Liam Neeson's character from Taken.
The guy from Taken. I don't think I've ever seen that movie, Taken. I would have to say Jason Bourne.
Jason
God,
Bourne.
I know so many people that are just like, oh, Jason Bourne this, Jason Bourne that. It's like I think that's what I have to say for the fans.
For the fans. You don't want to offend any of the Jason Bourne, Bourne fan base. Yeah. All right. Well, who do you guys open with?
We open with Tulsa in Oklahoma. So
okay,
that's our first game.
Yes, all right. Is it the 21st or is it the 29th? The 29th.
I think it's actually the week after that.
Okay, so it's like the 7th.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right, Gavin, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. For everybody that's listening, you can catch this on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeart, and Spotify. Also, you can check out the video of it on our 2 different YouTube channels, Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul and Hoya Nation Sports Broadcasting. So for our man Gavin Hall up in Toledo, Ohio, this is Adam Freeman in Atlanta, Georgia. You've been listening to Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul on Hoya Nation Sports Broadcasting.